So next we have Dr. Sangram Keshari Samal sir. So he is a distinguished biomedical researcher and consultant scientist at the Indian Council of Medical Research, Bhubaneswar, with over 23 years of interdisciplinary research and academic experience across premier institutions in India, Europe, and United States. A recipient of the prestigious Ramalinga Swami Re-Entry and Ramanuja Fellowships, Dr. Samal's work embodies a deep commitment to translational biomedical innovation and collaborative science. His research spans cutting-edge domains, including tissue generation, stem cell therapy, multi-drug resistance pathogens, phage therapy, gene editing, and the integration of artificial intelligence in biomedical applications. Driven by a vision to develop futuristic healthcare technologies, Dr. Samal has significantly contributed to academia and industry through extensive publications, patented innovations, and global collaborations. He has been an invited speaker at multiple international platforms and serves on expert committees of globally respected funding bodies, including the European Research Council, Swiss National Science Foundation, India's Department of Biotechnology. So Samal sir's academic and research credentials are like he has done his PhD in Biomaterials University of Pisa, Italy, MSc in Chemistry, National Institution of Technology, Rourkela, India, postdoctoral and research engagements across Ghent University, Belgium, IISc, Bangalore, MIT from US, CNR Bologna from Italy, ICT Bhubaneswar, NIT from Rourkela. His research highlights are scholar citations and publications. So he has published around 65 international journal articles, 28 international patent publications, 19 book chapters, 2 gene bank submissions, 8 granted patents, editor of an RSC book, invited plenary lectures on 10 international forums. Current research inserts of, His current research interests are tissue generation and stem cell therapy, multi-drug resistant pathogens and phage therapy, gene editing and drug gene delivery systems, translations, biology, and biomedical applications of AI. And he is a teaching and let us know about his teaching and mentorship. Dr. Samal has mentored over 50 postgraduate students in microbiology, biotechnology, and currently supervises 3 PhD candidates. He has taught advanced biopharmaceuticals, material sciences, and biomolecular engineering courses at institutions such as Ghent University, IISc Bangalore, and ICT Bhubaneswar. Sir's editorial and peer review engagements are, he is an associate editor, Frontiers in Bioengineering and Biotechnology, reviewer for 20 international peer-reviewed journals, committee member of research funding evaluations by Europe Union, FWO Belgium, SNSF Switzerland, NCN Poland, DPT, and ICMR India. Sir has achieved a lot of awards and recognitions. So Ramalinga Swami Re-Entry Fellowship in 2017 to 2024, Ramanuja Fellowship in the year 2016 to 2001, Marie Curie Events Grant in 2009, ICTP Fellowship Italy in 2009 to 2012, featured in who is a scientist engineering in 12th edition. His professional affiliations are Life Member Bionet, Society of Biomaterials and Artificial Organs, Society of Biological Chemists, Materials Research Society of India, Chemical Research Society of India. I think so all your students might be inspired by all his work. So let me welcome Sir on the stage and share his presentation.
Good evening. It's a really great pleasure to be here, and I'm very thankful to Swamiji for inviting me to deliver my research activity about the recent cutting-edge research. I'm here really impressed with the research going on, and as well as the clinical practice going on the Ayurveda. This is a really holistic approach, and mine is a little bit different. It is like a research, then we can translate into the clinic. And in this regard, if we look about my journey, and right now I am associated with the Indian Council of Medical Research, New Delhi, as a cell and gene therapy responsible person. And here we evaluate all the cell and gene therapy based research proposal around India and different institutes, and how they can really perform and how they can deliver some product to the Indian clinics. And because we are far behind than the European Union as well as the US about the cell and gene therapy, we need to improvise our research vision, research approach. Then only we can compete with the world and we can really deliver something to the society. And not working. Okay. What I was talking about my research journey, I am the student of INITATIVE Rourkela, which is a very prestigious institute. I think it's among the NITs, it's a rank 1. And then I moved to the University of Pisa. It was a PhD program between University of Pisa and MIT. It was a sandwich program. That's why I left the job of INITATIVE Rourkela, where I was working there assistant professor after my completion of master degree. Then I had opportunity to visit Harvard Medical School. Then I had opportunity to Tufts to visit. Then I landed up at CNR Bologna, where it was a European project about the gene therapy, how can regenerate the bone tissue by using magnetic scaffold. And this magnetic system also is one of the traditional approach to enhance the regeneration process. About my other journey, about my guide and collaborators, and here's the Professor Emo Kellini is a pioneer in Europe. Then Professor David Kaplan is like a father of silk-based system. It's like you can call it as a you can use a protein as a nutrition, or you can use those silk system as a sutures, or you can use some silk-based product as a screw. There are a lot of patents. I think Professor Kaplan has more than 200 US international patents, and he had, I think, more than 15 international companies, multinational companies. And then Professor Rui Ruiz is another pioneer in Europe. Then other people who I am collaborating, they are really pioneers and they are really entrepreneurship. They emphasize the entrepreneurship. That's what I learned there for my 11 years of experience. We should translate our research to the clinic. We should translate our bedside research to the bed. Then only we can contribute something to the society. Otherwise, the research is it will be like a pen and paper things. And regarding this, the antibiotic resistance stewardship. And what is the antibiotic resistance? How it evolves? because if you treat some diseases, some cells with a certain molecules, then it creates some resistance, like some gene mutation occurs and it gets resistance. And that causes several problems. But if you look about the WHO, mentioned that this antibiotic resistance can be a global threat and can be a silent pandemic. It's more dangerous than the COVID-19. That is the, if you look toward the 2027, about the AMR market is around $13.8 billion. And if you look about the death, about 2 million illness and 20,000 death in the United States alone, because in India we don't have those data. That's why I'm not able to present those data. That you can imagine how is effective AMR can be and can be a silent pandemic for our society. We need to do something better. And next, here you can see that if you go to a doctor for a simple cold, they will prescribe you some antibiotics with some levocetirizines and some paracetamols. All of them had a lot of toxic effect to our body. And they don't think about the long-term effect. That is the reason why the Ayurveda should evolve in a positive way to replace the allopathic treatment. In that regards, but if you look towards the other side effect of the allopathic system, we can get cured immediately, but the long-term effect, the microbiota of the stomach altered, and that microbiota causes different diseases. That means your microbiota, the microflora changes can invite many diseases. And in that aspect, if you go for an Ayurvedic system, that doesn't alter the microflora of stomach environment. And that is the beauty of the holistic approach of Ayurveda. And in those respects, if you go for a chicken shop, then that chicken also contains antibiotics. How you can avoid those antibiotics? If you go for a milk shop, milk also contains antibiotic, because in a dairy farm, the antibiotic use is huge. And if you go to the fish market, also fish containing the antibiotics. In that aspect, how you can avoid those antibiotics? And to get the antibiotics development, it takes years. And I don't think in the near future we can really address the antibiotic resistance by inventing some molecules. Because for molecules, to have a molecules and can go to the bed, it takes around more than 10 years. And if you look about the resistance nowadays, it's becoming a very fast resistance coming into the society. And for that we need an alternative. And here we need to aware about our doctors. This is the stewardship. And aware about our publics and aware about those antibiotics effects, long-term effects. That's the stewardship of antibiotics. We should aware about the long-term bad effect or long-term side effect. In that aspect, if you go for other alternative, like some curcumin or some other Ayurvedic system, that be an alternative approach. But in some cases, people used to say Ayurveda doesn't work very fast. In that aspect, we should research. Maybe we can use some combinatorial approach. Maybe that curcumin is not alone working. Maybe if you combine with ashwagandha, or if you combine with the microform or nanoform of the ashwagandha or nanoparticle formulation of the curcumina, then also maybe we can get good results compared to the existing system of the Ayurveda. That should be our approach. We should explore where the lacuna is there, why Ayurveda is not able to address the current situation, and why the world people are not accepting in Ayurveda in a positive aspect. Because we need to provide the evidence. We need to publish in high journal publication. Then only people will believe. Then if you provide the evidence, then people will believe that, okay, this can be useful. And if you have the good clinical data, then it can go to the clinics easily. And we can convince the allopathic doctor, or we can convince our general people. We are aware about the what are the consequence of the allopathic treatment, what is the advantage of the Ayurvedic treatment. Though Ayurveda has a lot of limitation at the present situation, we need to do good research, then only we can address the things. Then next slide, please. And here is the biofilm is another approach of antibiotic effects. And if you go for a biofilm formation, and it is a multi-drug resistance, then it goes for sepsis, then you will have other problems, and it can be a big issues. Then if you go for a biofilm formation in 3D and confocal images with the time, you can see how it grows with the time. It's a confocal image. It's not working. Can you press once? Yeah, you can see with the time how the bacteria's growth. And it's not a single bacteria. In most of cases, most of research article, you will find a single bacterial strength, because biofilm in a wound or in a biological system, it doesn't contain a single bacteria. It contains multiple bacteria and multiple proteins. And the main component is epoxy polysaccharide that helps to form the biofilm. Then next slide, please. Next slide. Yeah. Here we try to form a co-culture system to mimic our biofilm system in human body. Then next. And here another approach, another physical approach, here we have used the laser light. In combination with medicine, if you put the laser light, here you can see the biofilm formed in the first picture. In second picture, we have irradiated with laser in combination with antibiotics. In first case, the biofilm will not absorb any antibiotics, but in second case, it absorbs some amount and it irradiates the biofilms. And in the third case, you can see that it's completely eradicated. This is the beauty of use the combinatorial therapy. In this case, if you use the Ayurveda with some laser treatment, then that combination might work very well. And it can address many things which we are not able to address through the Ayurvedic system. The next slide. And here the phase therapy, this is another alternative. And in this case, I have filed 2 patents, international patents, and now I got 2.5 crores fund from the ICMR to continue these things. And our DG sir asked me to write a national health research priority for 25 crore to address, to do more research on bacteriophage therapy. And maybe it is another alternative to the multi-drug resistance pathogens. And if we combine this system, because this bacteriophage has also limitation, because they are very specific. If you have isolated from a bacteriophage from a wound affected by E. coli, then only it will affect the E. coli. It will not go for the S. aureus. That means there is a lot of research needed to be done by which we can use those phages for multiple bacteria or for any kind of bacteria. Then also we can address, because in Eastern Europe, in Russia, people are very fond of bacteriophage. You can, in the pharmacy, you can get a bacteriophage cocktails and bacteriophage. But in India, we are not allowed, because we are not evidenced that bacteriophage can treat many kind of diseases, many stomach diseases, where if you have a stomach illness, then you will get some antibiotics. That antibiotics really alter the microflora of stomach. You will lose your good bacteria in your stomach environment. Then you invite lot of disease, because stomach is the main place where you can create or where you can invite lot of diseases for your body. Okay, and this is the bacteriophage. Now in US, now they are accepting, because it was Eastern Europe things. US people thought that we should not accept it, we should discard this approach, but slowly they are also accepting, because they know if they will not address the MDR with molecules, because molecule is not that easy to prepare, that's why they are also accepting this phase therapy. But phase therapy also need a lot of experience and a lot of research to have an ideal phase system to tackle the multi-drug resistant pathogens. Then next we can go. Yeah, here some of approach how we can manipulate bacteriophage. Here I have used the gold nanoparticles. because here also we can use that bhasma, that sorna bhasma, or any kind of carbon dot, that also alter the efficacy of the bacteriophage. You can go for next slides. I don't want to go detail. Here you can see that gold nanoparticle as well as the gold magnetic nanoparticles, both of them can be used as a Ayurvedic system, because both are has some potential in Ayurvedic already. They have shown some Ayurvedic potential. Okay, next slide, please. Next. I hope this will work. Can you press another? Here I combine this magnetic nanoparticle combination with laser, and that works very well. And we also file a patent on that. Next. Yeah, you can see it's really killing the bacterial colony with the presence of laser. But in case of without using those magnetic nanoparticle or gold nanoparticle, the laser also doesn't affect that much. That means it plays an important role, that we should use a combinatorial system to address so many diseases which we are unable to address. Next. And here you can see the M13 bacteriophage, how I have been conjugated. This 10 nanometer gold nanoparticles have been conjugated with the M13 bacteriophage. How nicely they have conjugated. Then next. And also here we can see some laser response. You see, they're really working very well. Okay, next. This is magnetic nanoparticle conjugation system. Next. Here, because of magnetic nanoparticle has the agglomeration ability. They have tendency to form the clusters. Because of cluster nature, you can see the cluster forms. This magnetic nanoparticle also 10 to 15 nanometers, but here we got some cluster formation. And that clusters causes reduce some efficacy, but it has some other advantage. You can track to the target site, you can accumulate it to the target site, then you can deliver the molecules. Okay, then next. Here are some clusters images. Next, please. And here you can see the efficacy. With the control, E. coli works very nicely. When you conjugate that phase with the gold nanoparticle, the efficacy was around 80% infectious activity, but when you attach the magnetic nanoparticles, it reduces to 40%. But that 40% also has some other advantage over the gold nanoparticles. Okay, next slide, please. And here is another very precious thing is Tulsi. Because in Tulsi, it was a very holistic approach. This is the Ayurvedic approach. And I thought that different kind of Tulsi has the different properties. And yes, I have observed different Tulsi has the different properties, black Tulsi and white Tulsi. I observed because white has some good antimicrobial activities than the black one. And for that, I have checked that what are the mechanism going behind the Tulsi extract. And then you can see that the pathogens we have isolated from the chronic wound at AIMS Hospital as well as the SCB Medical College from Cuttack, and where we get the really multi-drug resistant pathogens. And for the in vitro analysis, we need those pathogens, whether our approach can really eradicate those multi-drug resistant pathogens. The next slides. And here the process, how we isolate Tulsi DNA. The next, please. And this is the process. Next, this is the general process. Here you can see we have isolated DNA with the high molecular weight DNA. And those DNA has a good biocompatibility, hemocompatibility, as well as the MIC assay. You can see the efficacy of the DNA really very good against the multi-drug resistance pathogens. Here you can use as those DNA doesn't need any vectors, because for the gene therapy you need a viral vectors or non-viral vectors. Without those vectors, we cannot deliver the DNA inside the cells for any human cells or any bacterial cells. In that concept, we use recently people are being used that CRISPR-Cas9 technology for the gene editing technology. But during the Tulsi DNA extraction, Tulsi DNA has that ability, it doesn't need any vectors. That's the beauty of the Tulsi. You can deliver the Tulsi DNA directly to the pathogens and you can alter the DNA of the pathogens and you can eradicate them from the wounds or from the any chronic wound. And here is the Coleus blumei is another medicinal plant. We did some research on that, and here we use the extract of this bulb. We have not extracted DNA till date. We check whether that extraction also has the ability to address the multi-drug resistance. Here you can see there's a standard strain I have checked for both E. coli and S. aureus, and here you can see the pathogenic strains, and they're really working very well with different concentration. They are also hemocompatible, and in my opinion, if you really work well, work focusedly, then every problem has a solution. We need to address it. We have to search it. We have to do good literature. Otherwise, we cannot answer all problems. Because I think the Indian students and Chinese students, specifically during my stay in abroad, I have seen most Indian students and Chinese students are very brilliant. But when they come back from abroad, but their research ability goes down. I don't know why. Maybe it's our system or whatever. But we have to that creativity, but the young people has the creativity. And those young people, I ask those people, you should be creative. You should not constrain your research into a particular things. You should explore many things because you have creativity. You can really address the things, what are the world facing those challenges. Then here I am talking about the Mimosa pudica to prepare some nanoparticles. Then here those process we are going to design some nanoparticles to address some multi-drug resistant pathogens here. Next, yeah, and these are the characteristics. You should understand what are the particle size, what is the charge of particles, and how they behave, what are the structural changes. And you can see they really work very well. Yeah, next. They are also have the ability to have anti-biofilm activities as well as the hemocompatibility. This is a very good publication. The impact factor is 6, and you don't have to pay for this journal, and this is a very reputed journal. Okay, next. And here is the another aspect where stomachs play a big role. Whatever the Ayurvedic medicine or other medication you are taking, whether we are getting the 100% efficacy? No. Because if you are taking any types of medicine or medication, when it enters, then it goes through the mucus. And that mucus has the ability to damage your molecules. If it wrap the proteins, wrap some other molecules to degrade the efficacy of that therapeutic molecules. This is why I shown that how stomach can play a big role to achieve a high therapeutic efficacy system. Here I have taken the pig mucus as well as the monkey mucus, and most of people used to say we will do some animal study. No need animal study because animal not replicate human beings, because here that's the reason why I have shown that pig and monkey. Pig mucus is very thick, very viscous, whereas the monkey mucus is very thin. The viscosity also play important role to make a diffusivity or to have the efficacy of the system. And in that way, means we cannot sacrifice the animal for our interest, because that will not replicate to the human being. And every human being has a different approach to different molecules or different therapy. That's the main reason why some medicine is working for somebody is very good, but some medicine is not working. It's also the biological system of a human body. In that way also we should consider, and how we will address the specific person with a specific drug is also important parameters. Okay, here you can see by if you're changing the particle size, you will get the diffusivity, different diffusivity. Next slide. Next slide, please. Yeah. This is another thing. So with the pig mucus also similar things, but the diffusibility of pig mucus is less compared to the monkey mucus. Next slide. Here you can see the next slide. I will compare both those things, viscous and less viscous. This is how we can not use animal for our replication of study. Okay, next study. This is the intracellular delivery. This is the another way of delivery why most of the molecules are not able to deliver, why we not get the efficacy of those molecules. So, but like for our Ayurvedic system or for allopathy system, for that we need an ideal delivery system. Till date, we don't have an ideal delivery system where we can say that we can get 100% efficacy. Till date, we don't have. That's why we need to work how we can deliver, then we can really avoid the toxic effect or side effect of the therapeutic molecules. Okay, next. Next, this is the another this laser system. This you can use those things for intracellular delivery things. Next slides. And during this process also, graphene oxide doesn't alter the. This is graphene oxide. This is another carbon-based material where you can use those things for deliver the bigger molecules, so bigger protein molecules to get higher therapeutic efficacy. Next, and here I got the international patents, and that patent also granted, and it was taken by an European company. You can see that the different scanning of the laser in presence of this carbon-based materials, how I can deliver higher amount of bigger molecules. Next, the cells are quite healthy. The different flow cytometry analysis, you can see the dead cells is very less. After third scan also, we can deliver siRNA to the HeLa cell. You can see the Alexa fluoro conjugated siRNA delivered easily. Alexa fluoro is the red, that's why the siRNA and hepatitis both we can deliver. You can see the dual delivery system also we can get it. Next, you can see the yellow color. That means we are able to deliver two drug delivery molecules. 2 drug molecules. And after 24 hours, you can see they are quite healthy. They are differentiating. That means our approach is not toxic approach to the cells. This is the how we can really deliver different kind of molecules to the different cell line and can get therapeutic efficacy. Next. This is the another mRNA delivery. This is the another approach in Ayurveda. Whatever the bhasma in Ayurveda people are preparing, they are very less aware about the what are the bhasma size of the particle size, what is the bhasma composition, and what is the bhasma structure. That's earlier showed that some XRD, XPS data. Those are very essential, and we should know the surface charge of those bhasma, whether they are cationic or they are anionic, whether their structure is star shaped, whether it's spherical shape, and different shape, size, and the content of the particles can change the therapeutic efficacy, can change the delivery efficacy, and in that way we can really modulate or we can enhance the system. Okay, this is the, you can see the D and L form of aspartic acid. I tried to make a bhasma with the furnace at 1000 degree. You can see they are connected. Earlier was not connected. In that way, you can really tune the or optimize the system to get the higher therapeutic efficacy. Next, the macro scale drug delivery is the important parameters, because in the macro scale we can use some Ayurvedic extract and we can really treat the like chronic wound or diabetic wound. Next, we can combine with electrical pulse as well as we can combine with the laser light. Next, you can see I have prepared some chitosan scaffold with some different carbon contents. And here this is also another international US patents, and also it's got a B2 grade. Next, here you see that the two scaffolds, one is contains some bhasma and another is not containing any bhasma. Can you place, yeah, here you see no changes, but the bhasma containing scaffold, you can see they forms the bubble. Here we can control the delivery whenever we need, because we don't need a continuous release of drug molecules. It needs some pulse release. Then only we can get a higher efficacy. You can see those are forming the bubbles. But here, where I have not used any bhasma, it has no response. That means if you combine two systems like laser with Ayurveda, it will be really amazing. It's combinatorial therapy we can say it. Next. Yeah, this is the chitosan. This is the very commonly used. There are a lot of products already in the market. Next. These are the products already market, and I am also planning to launch a product very soon. Next. Next. These are the products where I have filed some 3 patents, Indian patents now, but I don't have any single Indian patents, but I have 28 US patents, and out of 28, 8 are granted, and 1 patents in India with the ISC Bangalore when I was in ISC Bangalore. Then I got 1 patents on bacteriophage, and that have been sold for 100 crores. And there are some other products are also there. Then you can go next step. And these are the different drug molecules containing bits, where we can really make a gradient. That gradient system also has a very promising applications for the drug delivery application for a chronic wound like ulcer wound. We can encapsulate stem cell to enhance the regeneration ability, and cells are, you can see in the beads, they are quite alive and quite happy, and it can really translate your wound or your system more faster compared to the non-encapsulated stem cells. Next. And these are some other approach. They also impact some antimicrobial effect, because whenever you go for a transplantation or surgery, there are a lot of chances to get infected. That's why you should get, after surgery, a lot of higher dose of antibiotics. There also we are creating multi-drug resistance. Right? And these are some SCM images, how after the treatment, how it looks like E. coli and ACRS. This is another products already in the market. Next. Next. Here the screw, which have been prepared by me by using silk protein, because nowadays titanium screw been used for the bone implants. You can use this implant and it can resorbable, and we can have a very less cost. Okay, next. Next, on demand delivery, we can do some ceramic system also we can use for the bone regeneration application. Next. Then you can magnetize those things, and we can really encapsulate some cells in it, and we can deliver to for the higher bone regeneration ability. Next. These are the 3D printed scaffold. Nowadays, 3D printed is a really emerging field, how we can address the many things in bone regeneration as well as the pancreatic regeneration. And with you can see the 3D printed scaffold with stem cell. You can see they're well interconnected stem cells, and we can really deliver to the systems. These are some antimicrobial chitosan modifier for the diabetic wound, and published in the carbohydrate polymer, which is the impact factor is more than 10. Next. Next is the European Journal of Pharmaceutics. This is the silk protein, and yesterday I was talking with sir, and they are planning a lot of silk-based system. And this silk-based system is really very good for the society, and silk protein has good nutritional values, and in combination with silk protein, if we combine some other system, then it can really be a good substitute for the protein-based system. Next. These are some different enzymatic degradations. You can get a different molecular weight of silk protein, and different molecular weight of silk protein has a different therapeutic efficacy. Next. Next, this is ultrasound-based systems. Ultrasound also can be combined with our Ayurvedic system, and we can get a higher therapeutic efficacy. I am 100% sure if we go for a single therapeutic application, maybe we will not achieve the things. Maybe we can go from combinatorial therapy system. Next. This is the Damar Batu. This is we call it, if you combine those Damar Batu with some kerosene, and it is like a very hard, and that hardened materials has a good mechanical properties. It can proliferate the stem cell. It can be used as a bone substitute. It's a bio-based products. Next. And these are some enzyme-based some biomineralization to enhance the bone regeneration ability. Next. This is the silk, magnetic silk. We can really control the cell proliferations. This is another approach for the biomineralization with a different kind of molecules. It's a transdermal patch also we are working, And here also so you can add some Ayurvedic based products for the transdermal drug delivery, and it is really can give you amazing results. Next, this is the electrospoon fiber. That fiber can really good for the wound healing applications. Next, here you can embed some Ayurvedic products which can go for a nano range, and it has higher surface area. It can deliver the molecules to the target site. Like for burn wound, it will be really very good. Then it is transdermal. This was prepared in my lab, my students' hand, and we have prepared that product. Next, this is plasma treated. This is another approach where we can get different products. Next, the hydrophobicity and hydrophilicity also can play a big role to control the therapeutic efficacy of any kind of new molecules or any kind of extraction you are doing. You should check the hydrophobicity and hydrophilicity, because different system need a hydrophobic system, different system need a hydrophilic system, then we can achieve the things. Next, this is the cell delivery of the cationic systems. Next, injectable system is another approach where we can do a lot of things with the Ayurveda, like with the antimicrobial as well as the therapeutic application. Next, this is how we can challenge us and we can go for future direction. The Ayurvedic system, we should enhance the immunomodulation of the Ayurvedic system, and long-term observation is needed, and regulatory approval is another parameter where we should focus. And nowadays, digital health is very important. Maybe next 10 years, you will be completed transformed from personal care to the digital care or digital health. For that, we need digital knowledge. If you look towards the digital knowledge around the world, it's only for 65%. That means another 35% people are not aware about the digital technology. And this is, I'm talking about the global situation. If you talk about the Indian system, I think it's very poor. And if you go further, whether our doctors are really digital, well aware about, this is another question. So thanks. That's why the digital awareness is very important, and we should combine our research with AI technology. We integrated our results with we should train our AI algorithm. Then if it will, next 5 years, if you will do like this, then the AI will be like a very trustable system where we can trust the output of the AI results for the AI diagnosis system. Because if you remember, the 2 years before, ChatGPT was really providing very observed results. If you ask something, it was giving some observed results. The Google was quite best compared to the ChatGPT. But nowadays, for today, if you go for a ChatGPT and ask something, it gives very nice results. And if you compare these results with 2 years before, it was completely different. That means we need to train the technology. That means if you trained well, we can really get good results. That means we need digitalized for everything. Then only we can address the existing challenges nowadays. The ethical concern is also important. We should protect the privacy of the patients. We should concerned about the patient privacy as well as the system privacy. Next, this is the brief result of Tulsi leaf. Next, these are the products where I am planning to transport to the clinic. Okay, next. This is another 2 slides. Next, this is another one for the future medicine, like space medicine. Nowadays, Elon Musk is saying that in few years, people will visit space more frequently. And if you travel space, then you need space-based system where you can use those things in space, like different food, because if you go to the space, you cannot carry a lot of things. You cannot carry a lot of luggage. And in that sense, we need to do some space-based research, like to prepare some protein-based food in space. We should prepare some 3D printed nutritious food. We should means whatever as Swamiji showed that chocolates, we should prepare those nutritious food for space travel or for the space travelers. And these are the things where lab culture meat peoples are being prepared. And it is also we can prepare vegan meat. That's the beauty of the research. Huh? We should focus on space research, because I am the expert committee member of Department of Biotechnology in the space research, because we are far behind than the US and other European nations, because we are not focusing any research on the space-based system. And here we can prepare some topical gels by which in the zero gravity, microgravity, also our skin will not dysfunction. Means because in the space, because you could lose the bone density, all those things. If you use those kind of tropical gels, because this is also another patentable things, then you can avoid the bone loss in space. Next, this is the new gene therapy, new era of medicine. If you combine with the Ayurveda, I think it will be an amazing technology and amazing approach for the nations, and these are the some of good publications. Next, if you look to about the importance of Ayurveda nowadays, the global Ayurveda products market was 14.4 billion in 2023 and is estimated to reach around 76.91 billion by 2020. That means whatever you are doing the best things. Means you are really studying the good things where you can really see your future. Then if you took the global biomaterial market, because here also we can combine the Ayurvedic system and we can address this biomaterial market by 2030 by around 349 billions by 2030. This is the clear indication that we need a skilled graduates, postgraduate and PhD in Ayurveda, by which we can address many more health-based products in future. Next. These are some eye-related research. I am busy with my research. Still, I used to go to my lab and I do the research. Although now I'm based in headquarters, but still my PhD students are in RMRC Bhubaneswar. I used to go and I do my lab work. Still then. Okay, these are my 4 PhD students from ACSR, which is a CSR-based PhD program. And it's a really very good program. And people can go abroad to do their PhD and to learn some research skill in abroad. They can come back and they can do good research for the India. And thank you so much. I think it's done. Although this research is a little bit different than what SARS previously mentioned, because SARS research was clinical research, mine is research in the lab as well as the cutting edge research, where we can use those things in future. And if you have any doubt, any suggestions, comments, I'll be happy to have it. Please. Yes, sir, please. Sir, if you have some questions, you can ask. I think Sarah has some question. From student side, if you have any query or questions, please go ahead. No question, then it's very good. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I would like to call upon the dignitaries to honor our guest speaker.